What about the folks that say, I do well off of 6 hours sleep, 5 hours sleep, maybe 4 hours? I hear this a lot through when I used to do wellness and fitness coaching, knowing how important the 7 hour minimum was. They're like, but I'm fine off of six. And when I do get seven, eight, or nine, I feel worse. I feel more tired. What's happening there?
Yeah, such an important question. So there's two parts to this question. So the first is an understanding that how you feel when you wake up in terms of your alertness and whether you feel groggy or any kind of sleep inertia, how you feel in the morning actually says very little about your whole sleep and whether you did have a good sleep or a bad sleep. How you feel in the morning when you first wake up says much more about the actual stage of sleep that you woke up out of. Okay. And so this leads to the answer for those people that, you know, are convinced that they function best on 4 to 5 hours of sleep. The the simple truth here is that there are very, very few people that have a genetic predisposition to function optimally at 4 to 5 hours of sleep. The truth is, you are more likely to win the lottery twice in your lifetime than you are to have that gene. But the reason people feel like they're better off in a 4 to 5 hour range is because they've been chronically in fight or flight mode. They've been using this sympathetic nervous system. They are redlining the engine, if you will. An engine's designed to operate at a certain level of RPMs. And we can, if you're driving, you could go over and redline a little bit. But if you chronically do that, you're going to burn out the engine. In the same way, it is absolutely possible for us to function at some level, okay, on 4 to 5 hours of sleep. First thing, I liken it to having drinks socially with friends and everything. As you're going, you're having some drinks and you're feeling good and you're thinking, "Ooh, I'm on fire tonight." And you think that you're performing really well. Then it comes time to go home. You would never, in this day and age, I hope, you would never ask the drunk person if they're good to drive because they're not able to evaluate their impairment level. In the same way, when we're sleep deprived, we can't evaluate our impairment as effectively. You need objective measures to really identify those impairments. The individual, when they wake up, thinks that they've had enough sleep and they're good to go. They're likely waking up out of REM at that point. And so rapid eye movement sleep, when the dream stage of sleep, when we wake up out of that stage, our brain is already very active. So it's ready to start the day. Here's the issue though. When we wake up after a long sleep, so let's say that we usually sleep 4 to 5 hours, and then we finally get a chance to rest and we say, okay, Glenn tells me I should be getting more sleep, so I'm going to sleep in. And so the individual actually does sleep in. Well, guess what's going to happen, right? They're going to go from sympathetic nervous system and they're going to go into recovery, restoration, repair mode. That's parasympathetic. If they wake up out of that mode, if they wake up out of that kind of a slow wave, deep sleep, their brain is not ready for processing of information. It's not in the active REM stage, it's in a deep cleanse state. You wake up and you're going to feel groggy. You're going to have sleep inertia. You're not going to feel ready to go. In fact, you're probably right in the middle of a recovery mode, so you haven't finished the recovery, so you're not going to feel good at all. So what happens is that we get a signal and we make the wrong conclusion from that signal. What a person should realize after getting 8 hours sleep when they normally get 4 or 5, and they feel awful. They feel awful because they've got a massive debt that they need to repay, not because getting more sleep is bad for them.